Okay, we have looked at how to find the slope from a diagram. We have looked at how to find the slope from a word problem. We have looked at how to find the slope from a graph. We have looked at how to find the slope from a table. And one thing we will be doing really soon is how to find the slope from an equation. Okay, we'll be able to look at an equation and be able to determine what the slope is. Okay? But one thing I want to show you is something called the slope formula. I'm going to show you the slope formula. Some people really like it. Some people hate it. I'm going to show the formula to you and show you how to use it. And then I'm going to show you what might be an easier shortcut. Okay? So imagine we have these 2 points. Imagine I have the point 8, 12. And let's say I have the point 2, let's say 4. Okay? What if they asked you to find the slope of a line that runs through these 2 points? So we don't have it on a graph. We can't physically do rise over run and count. How do we solve this? Okay? Well, there's this interesting formula called the slope formula. And what the slope formula tells us to do is to define the points and then use those points in that same order. And I'll explain it right now. Okay? So we've got to use 2 points. So let's call this point 1. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah? And so we'll call this point 2. Easy enough? All right. Now, I need to define the x value in point 1. What is the x value in point 1? 8 or 12? Which one is x? Which one is y? 8 is x, right? So I'm going to call this x. Listen, I'm going to call this x, and because it's in point 1, I'm going to call it x1. Are we okay with that? Yes. Now, this is the y value in point 1, so what are we going to call it? X2. Y1. Very good. What do we think we're going to call this? X2, because it's the x value in the second point. And I'm going to call this? Y2. Very good. All right, now, here's what the slope formula says. Ready? It says y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is how we can find the slope. So normally you look at that and it seems kind of crazy, but when I subtract 2 y values, what am I really finding? I'm finding the change in y, right? And when I subtract x values, what am I finding? The change or difference, the change in x, okay? So that's all I'm doing. Now, let's fill in the formula. What was y2? 4. What was y1? What was x2? 2. And what was x1? 8. Okay? Now, what's 4 minus 12? You sure? Negative 8. And what is 2 minus 8? Negative 6. And if I have a negative divided by a negative, that would be a positive, right? So I have 8 over 6. Is there any other way that I can simplify that? 4 over? Very good. So my slope, using the slope formula, is 4/3. Okay? Now, can I show you possibly a really quick, easier way to do this? I want you to understand the slope formula. Some people, the slope formula clicks, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's really simple. And if you are that person, use it, because it's really good. And look, it doesn't matter. We could have called this 1.2 and switch it, and this could be 0.1, and we still would have gotten the same thing, right? Because down here, I would have had 12 minus 4, which would have been 8, and 8 minus 2, which would have been 6, and we would have got the same thing. So it doesn't matter what order it is, as long as you use them in the same order, okay? In other words, 0.2's got to come first, and the top and the bottom. Now, here's the other one I want to show you. Let me move this to the side. Okay, so that was slope formula. Most of you are experts at finding constant rate of change or slope from a table. All right, well, check this out. If I take this one, and then I take the other point, and I just kind of slide it right underneath it, what have I kind of made? I've kind of made a table. Okay? And then I can just go, hey, what's the difference between 12 and 4? Right? The difference going from 12 down to 4 is -8. Going from 8 down to 2 is -6. This is y. This is x. I've got -8 over -6, which is 4/3. Okay? I personally think that's a lot quicker, and I think you're already using a skill that you've developed. So sometimes just taking 2 points, turn them into a table, find the change in y over the change in x is the quickest, easiest way to find the slope. Okay? Any questions? All right. I would like you to try, let's see. Let's take a look at this last problem before we go on. All right? It's one more example. Find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. Okay? All right, find the slope of the line that passes through 3, 3, and 2, 0. So you can use the slope formula, or you can turn them into a table. And what would be in my table? 3, 3, and 2, 0. Okay, so this is x, this is y. I can draw the chart if it helps. What's the change in y? From 3 down to 0 is -3. From 3 down to 2 is -1. So the change in y is -3. And the change in x is -1. -3 over -1 is the same as 3. So in a matter of seconds, I've discovered what my slope is. All right? Excellent job. Try the last got it there on page 184. I want you to choose either D or F. You don't have to do them both. Choose D. Yes, sorry. Choose D or E. Choose D or E.